Hi everybody, happy Tuesday. I wanted to do a video lesson to help you out with the rhythm question worksheet that I posted in Google Classroom, and it is called Rhythm Questions Level 3, which means it's for 8th grade. So before we delve into some of these questions and counting it, let's make sure that we've got our basics, that we are remembering that the whole note is the open circle. It is 4 counts of music, 4 beats. The half note is the open circle with a stem. It is 2 beats. The quarter note is 1 beat. Our eighth notes are beamed together. There are 2 of them per beat, a half of a beat each. They are called eighth notes. We would count them like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And then we have 16th notes, double striped. So you can see that there's double stripes. There are typically 4 of them connected in a beat, 1 E and a, 2 E and a, and so on. And sometimes we have these hybrid rhythms where we are combining an 8th note with 16th notes, or we can do 16th notes to an 8th note. I bet I can draw that. Where's my, let me find my marker. Okay, so right here, starting with 2 16th notes and the 8th note. And when you're working on counting these, first you have to know what beat are we on, beat 1, beat 2, beat 3, or so on. And then are we counting with 8th notes or 16th notes, so we know how to use the letters that follow. For this example, let's say that this was on beat 1. Beat 1, it's the first 8th note, so it's the very first part of the beat. It is the number, so beat 1. And I have 2 16th notes at the end. So I go over to my example where I have 1 E and a. The last 2 syllables are and a. So this rhythm, if it started on beat 1, is 1 and a. In this example, I am starting with the 16th notes. So I go back up to my example, 1 E. If it happens to be on beat 2, you would use the number 2. Or number 3 if it was on beat 3. Whatever beat you're starting on, that's the number. Let's assume it's beat 1, and I need the first 2 16th notes. 1 E. Right here, 1 E. Then I have an 8th note at the end. And where's over here, my 8th notes. When we count 8th notes, it's 1 and, 2 and. So that second 8th note has the syllable and. So if I go back to this rhythm, 1 E and, 2 E and, 3 E and, 4 E and, whatever beat number we happen to be on. Okay, so let's take a look at the worksheet that I asked you to complete. And this first example, it says how many beats are in this example. So my eyes are kind of looking at the beats. These are all beamed together. That is beat 1, 1 E and. Beat 2 is a quarter rest. It is a count of silence and it still counts. It's a beat of silence. 3 E and a. 4 and. So that measure has 4 beats in it. How many beats in this example? I see triplets on beat 1, 8th notes on beat 2, triplets on beat 3, and a quarter note on beat 4. Triplet 2 and triplet 4, beat 4. What type of rhythm is on beat 2? We have triplets on beat 1. We have these 2 notes beamed together on beat 2. Is that a whole note, half note, 8th note, or triplet? How many beats in this example? 16th notes, 1 E and a, beat 2, and then 8th notes here on beat 3. How many beats in this example? Here's a non-traditional measure. You're used to seeing 2, 3, or 4 beats per measure, and this one has more beats than that. So we have the whole note. Remember on my chart here, the whole note at the top is 4 counts. So that itself is 4 beats of music. Plus I have 2 more quarter notes, and the quarter notes are 1 beat each. So you have a 4, a 1, and a 1, and you can add up your total beats there. A whole note, a quarter note, and a quarter note. How many beats in this example? These are all beamed together in beat 1. 1 and a. Silence on beat 2, but it still counts. Beat 3 is a quarter note. It stands alone. That is beat 3. 4 E and. They are all beamed together for beat 4. And then here I have one more note, but it is a half note. The half note is 2 counts. So let's look back at the example. 1 and a 2. 3, it's a quarter note, it stands alone. 4 E and, I was at beat 4, and now I have this one. That is 2 beats for that half note. So that's 2 more beats. That is a total of 6 beats in that measure. How would you count this rhythm? Okay. Beat 1 looks tricky. We haven't seen that yet so far. A dotted 8th note and 1 single 16th note. I see that double stripe, a single 16th note. If you just go to the way that you count your 16th notes, 1 E and a, the very last syllable for a 16th note is the a syllable. So that this beat 1 is 1 a. This dotted 8th note is all of these syllables combined. 1 E and. They're all combined together in that one pitch. 1 a. Beat 2 is a quarter note. It stands alone. It's by itself. So we have 1 a 2. 3 E and a. And then beat 4 is 8th notes. 4 and. So listen again. 1 a 2. 3 E and a 4 and. And I think that was the last question. I hope this video helps. Let me know if there's anything that I can do for you. If you need any help with your instrument, do you need valve oil reads, an instrument repair? I did put a Google form asking if there was anything that you needed. How can I help? What can I do to make sure that we're all still playing together and learning music? And have a good rest of your day, a good rest of your week, and I'll see you soon. Bye.